I didn't realize.
Okay, at 6 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order.
So if you
Before we stand, I'd like to introduce Pastor Greg Smith from Brazoria First Baptist Church, and he's going to lead us in our invocation.
All right, I invite you to join me in prayer tonight. Let's pray. So, Father, we pause before you tonight to acknowledge that you are God and we're not. Father, we thank you for your grace and love that you've poured out upon us. Thank you for this country, this community, people, Lord, that you give us the privilege to serve here. I pray your blessings tonight and your wisdom and grace upon each one. We admit that we are all human and we fail and we don't always think right. And so we need your wisdom and your understanding. I pray for each one of these board members, Lord, that you would be with them as they make these deliberations and as they make their decisions. Bless the teachers and all of those who serve in this district. Bless their families, and thank you for their service. And Father, for each one of the children that come each day to learn and understand, Lord, we pray, God, your blessing upon them and their families. And thank you, God, for what all of this stands for. Help us tonight as we take care of the business of this district. Again, bless each one, and may your peace and grace reign here. And it's in the name of Jesus that we pray and ask this. Amen.
Thank you so much.
Sir.
Would you join me in the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I honor
the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, we're going to go right into recognitions.
All right, so tonight we do have some 226 award members. Tonight's awards will be our pay for performance and distinction and certification awards. So what we're going to do is call them up by campus, and so we're going to ask, we'll do the teacher awards first. And so we'll ask the campus principals to introduce the awardees, tell us what they teach, and then indicate the amount that they will be receiving. They will be receiving the amounts on their November the 25th paycheck, which is a couple of days away. Please be aware that it will be included. It is TRS eligible, so it'll count. But you also have to pay taxes on it. So, anyway, so Ms. Stowe, who would you like to start with?
Galloway is going to start first with Barrow.
Barrow Elementary. And so after we're done by campus, if you would stay here so we can get a picture, group picture.
Okay. All of my people are going to love me, but I'm always the chosen one to go first. All right, so first we have Brittany Gillenfield. She teaches 4th grade math for us at Barrow, and she is receiving around $400. I'm not going to say the specific amount. Thank you, ma'am. Next we have Amanda Forrester. She teaches 3rd grade math for us, and she is receiving $1,400. Next we have Victoria Miller. She teaches 3rd grade reading for us at Barrow, and she is receiving $1,987. Then we have Ashley Sin. She teaches 4th grade reading for us, and she is receiving $1,650. And then last but certainly not least, we have Missy Kelly. She teaches 4th grade reading for us, and she is receiving $2,250. Member at Barrow Elementary is receiving additional money for a distinction in post-secondary readiness, and we are very proud of that. So, Yay, Barrow!
Very good. Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, Ms. Bolton.
Thank you, everyone. It's my honor to present my teachers tonight. You know, teachers work really, really hard, and very often do they see any kind of fruits of those labors in a monetary fashion. So it is very nice to be able to recognize these teachers and actually give them something. So thank you guys for that. We really appreciate recognizing them with this reward. First up in my school, I have Miss Melissa Ramone. Last year for the STAR Scores, she taught 3rd grade reading, but she's currently doing 5th grade science and killing it. She's receiving $780. Next up, we have Miss Paige Ham. She is a 3rd grade reading teacher at WCE, and she will be receiving $360. That was her first year teaching too, I might add. Miss Jennifer Webb. Miss Webb is also a 3rd grade reading teacher, and she will be receiving $780. Then we have Miss Kelly Blinker. Kelly is a 4th grade reading teacher at West Columbia Elementary School, and she's receiving $1,140. Then we have Miss Louisa, Miss Kelly Louisa. Miss Louisa, 3rd grade math teacher at WCE, and she will be receiving $1,085. Then Mrs. Williams. Miss Williams is also 3rd grade math teacher at WCE, and she will be receiving $770. Then Miss Tribble. Miss Tribble is a 4th grade math teacher at WCE, and she will be receiving $2,065. And Miss Bailey. Miss Bailey is 5th grade reading teacher, and she will be receiving $840. And last but not least, Miss Evans last year, Mrs. McClinton this year. Come on down. She's a 5th grade reading teacher, and she will be receiving $1,290.
We're gonna have to like stack this one.
Yeah.
Something on my, yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Perfect. That's good. Ready? Got it. Good job. All right, and last we have the high school. Miss Bailey.
All right. We have a lot to be thankful for at the high school. We'll start with our performance pay awards. So if I can have Miss Jones. Lauren Jones teaches U.S. history, and she's going to be receiving $300. Miss Johnny Tebow. She teaches sophomore English, and she's going to be receiving $2,595. Yes.
So, okay, and you're good, I won't get y'all.
Hey.
Okay, and then we have some additional awards at the high school. Each year, our CTE program certifies students to where they have some career readiness skills as they are leaving the high school. And so we have some awards for the teachers that have certified students this past year. Lisa Bowman, she teaches our patient care technicians, our certified phlebotomy technicians, and she's certified 9 in patient care technology and 8 in phlebotomy technology, and she's going to be receiving $425. Jessica Lambert. Miss Lambert is over our education program, and she also works with our practicum students for veterinary assistant. She certified 2 students in veterinary assistant, and she had 5 students that certified as their educational aid certification. She is going to be receiving $300. Mr. Holt is ill tonight, and so he's not going to be able to be here, but he did certify 18 students in small business and entrepreneurship, and he'll be receiving $450 as well. Tanya Davis. Miss Davis has been busy this past year. She certified 59 students in Microsoft Office Word, 30 in Microsoft Office Excel, 31 in Word Expert, 2 in Excel Expert, 1 in Adobe Design and Illustrator, and 1 in Access Expert. She's going to be receiving a grand total of $3,100. And not to be outdone, Jake Carr. I think they have a friendly competition going on. Jake, he certified 64 students in Word, 58 students in Excel, and 8 in Word Expert, and he's going to be receiving $3,250. Miss Uchi, Reese Uchi, teaches our floral design class. And Miss Uchi has certified 83 students in floral general knowledge, and she had 6 that also passed their hands-on level 1 certification. So she will be receiving $2,225. Christian Medill. Mr. Medill teaches our Ag Fab and Ag Mech classes, and he certifies students in NCCER Core, and he certified 59 students this past year and will be receiving $1,475. And then Ms. Lisa Clazel. Ms. Clazel is over our culinary arts program, and she certified 16 students in food protection management this past year, and she'll be receiving $400.
Scrunch together too, y'all are a big group. Go CTE, woohoo!
Yeah, good job.
Everybody, perfect, very good.
Congratulations. Okay, next we're gonna go.
So teachers and families that showed up, if you're ready to take your money and go, now's the perfect time. If you'd like to stay around for the board meeting, you're more than welcome. Congratulations.
Peace out.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll read the board.
Yeah.
I always read them live. I always do. Before I'm gonna get married.
Exactly.
Girl, you know. Whenever you wanna come to the littles. I love you. I do love you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
All right, Cody, you ready? Who's up?
Barrow.
Barrow, Principal Galloway.
First up again.
Yeah, and I broke the rules, sorry. I only have 2 slides, but more than 4 pictures. Our positive office referrals, our kids have been racking them in. Positive office referral after positive office referrals, I just want to highlight them. All of these are for kind acts to others or teachers. Multiple of them are for helping teachers move materials or get things set up for class without having to be asked. And then 2 of the very special ones, they have been working hard with our Zones of Regulation social emotional curriculum and working hard to stay positive and recognize what zone they're in and how in which they need to apply a coping strategy to help regulate themselves. So they've done a fantastic job. I wanted to highlight them. And then this past Friday, we had our Breakfast for the Brave in lieu of a traditional Veterans Day program. And we had over 70 70 people there attending. We ate breakfast with them all. Our student council and pals served them drinks and refreshments. There was multiple comments about their customer service. I heard one of them say, "Would you like something to drink, ma'am?" And that is, just outstanding for kids this day and age. But I wanted to highlight that as well. You can see they were excited to have their people there with them. And we started breakfast with a prayer by Clark Cohey, which brought some tears to eyes, but he did a fantastic job and made it very special. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Ms. Bailey, is that you?
Yes, we broke the rules as well. We have a couple of things to be super excited about. Our LD radio team for our FFA group advanced to area, and they'll be going this Friday to area. Our football team is doing well. They're going to the second round of playoffs, and if you are around on Friday, it is pretty local. About 30 minutes from here, they'll be playing at Iowa Colony, and so come out and support our team. And then last but not least, our Veterans Day program. This has been the first time in several years that we've been able to actually host a Veterans Day program because we've not had a facility that would hold the entire student body. And so with our new gym, we were able to host the Veterans Day program again, and our own Mr. Miller spoke to the students. So.
Melvin Miller.
Melvin Miller. Sorry, I should clarify that. Yes, Melvin Miller.
Thank you. Junior high, Principal Lasario.
All right, so if you see in the top left-hand corner, our students in Principles of Education had to make a 90 or above to get their mentoring pass to be able to work as mentors with other students. And this group had passed on the first try, so we're really proud of them. They bring a lot of joy and help to our students when they go in and mentor peers. So we were excited about that. On the right, robotics went to their first competition and they came in well. They learned a lot of things. You see them, they have to push the balls over here, and then that is their robot that they're holding in the group over to the right. So super proud of them and excited to see how much they grow and improve over the year. At the bottom, it was one picture. I had one in put in, so I didn't try to break the rules. We had a group that went for esports ribbon cutting at the Brazos Park College. We're going to start an esports group on campus, and the kids have been signing up and super excited about being part of that and getting to see at Brazos Park College the things that they're offering. I think our coaches are even more excited than the kids about getting it started and seeing that. So we're excited to get that off the ground. And then we also had a Veterans Day program. Our student groups did a great job. It's always great seeing the twirlers do the ribbon dance. It catches your heart. And we had Mr. Tumlinson come and speak for the second time. Not very often do you get to hear the words from a Purple Heart recipient and a dad of one of our students. And he does an amazing job talking to our junior high kids and connecting with them. We appreciate him so much coming out and talking each year. So I wanted to give him a shout out. Our NJHS puts that on each year, and they just do a wonderful job with that. Even in our band and doing the taps, that's always something we look forward to. And then we had Halloween, and I chose 2 pictures of students dressing up, but I would say over 75% of our students dressed up on Halloween for Red Ribbon Week, and they picked really good outfits for the most part. We were excited to see them. It's really interesting to see them coming down the hallway in their costumes. It makes for a wild day, but some of them were even calling home to get their costumes brought up to be part of it. So we just wanted to give them a shout out for participation and the community for supporting that as well.
Okay, Westcombe Elementary, Principal
All
Bolton.
right. I wanted to start with our first slide with just a theme of gratitude and thankfulness at this time, the Thanksgiving season. Our first picture to the left is a thank you to Barrow Elementary, because on World Kindness Day, every student at their school had to have been more than one letter to send to every single student at West Columbia Elementary School expressing some kind thought. It was really special, and they had little treats with them as well. So the kids were super excited to receive the surprise gift from Barrow. So thank you so much for that. That was wonderful. And then the center is our robotics team. And if you'll indulge me, our robotics sponsor, Mrs. Roddy, has asked me to read this letter to you guys. It's to the Education Foundation and the board. On behalf of West Columbia Elementary, I want to extend my deepest gratitude for your generous donation on our robotics program. Your support has made a tremendous impact on our campus and in the lives of our students. I'm excited to share that because of your contribution, we now have 4 competitive robotics teams made up of 25 dedicated students, as well as a robotics club with an additional 45 students from 1st to 5th grade. These young engineers are eagerly learning the foundations of robotics, coding, and problem solving, while our competition teams are working hard as they prepare for their first showcase and upcoming competition. None of this would be possible without the continued encouragement and investment from our educational foundation, the school board, administrators, and teachers. So thank you guys for that very much. And then we also, of course, want to say thank you to our veterans. We had a veterans program as well in November that I don't know if you can tell from the crowd, they were super pumped about the kids singing, and it was an honor to represent our veterans as well. And then on our next slide, we wanted to highlight some of the things that we've been doing to motivate our students. We had our first goodie cart run through where the kids who are in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade who have shown growth on their assessments. They have their data trackers and they're setting goals, and if they meet their criteria, then they get a treat from the goodie cart. We also had our ring the bell ceremonies where when students meet their foundational goals, they get to ring the bell and get their picture on Facebook. And then I just wanted to celebrate also, we had our great pumpkin competition. I thought y'all would appreciate the West Columbia Water Tower pumpkin. And that we had a fantastic literacy night as well.
Yeah, thank you. Wild Peach Elementary.
All right, so this month in STEAM, our students have been working on making slime. And so, of course, everything fun and messy in Mr. Raymond's class. So all the students got have their own station, and they made slime and just had the best of time with it. And then we've welcomed families in for our first grade Veterans Day program. So you'll see on the pictures on the sides, one of my favorite things that they do is during part of the program, the veterans stand when their song is played for their branch of the military, and our students walk in the crowd and they give them a homemade tissue paper, flower, and an American flag pin, and they hand it to all the veterans that stand whenever they're played. But then this is just a picture of the students singing. It's a very catchy song, I Love America, and so that's the picture in the middle. But they do, for first grade and it being a big program, our students do a wonderful job putting that on.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you.
Are there any citizens to be heard? No? Okay, we'll move into business items with reports with the delinquent tax collection report.
Good evening. Mike Darlow with Purdue Brandon. I'd like to introduce you to Hayden Bartley, is a lawyer with my firm that works on Brazoria County with me. And with your indulgence, I'll allow him to give a quick update of our delinquent taxes and answer any questions you may have.
Does he know 30 seconds?
Yes, ma'am.
I
prepped him.
So going back to the first page, which actually we can go to the second page. So the tax office collects around 96 to 97% of the taxes annually. So this base amount of 1.2 million, that's for all tax years that are owed to the district that are delinquent property taxes. So a very small amount of your annual levy. We've broken this section down into categories to kind of tell us where to direct our efforts so we know how to best collect the delinquent taxes. And so you can see the largest section is action pending. That's going to be where we're making our phone calls, we're sending letters, we're reaching out to taxpayers, we're doing everything we can to try to get the delinquent property taxes paid. When the letters and the phone calls don't work, then we move it into litigation where we'll file a lawsuit, we'll do title research, make sure we have the lien holders, everyone's served, and then we'll set it for trial. Our next trial is actually in December 12th. And then if they still don't pay, we're trying to work with the taxpayer the whole time, and then we'll eventually set it for sale. Our next tax sale is actually on December 2nd. Another category I'd like to call out is the deferral category. So this is a very set of circumstances set by the Texas Property Tax Code that allows taxpayers to defer their payment of taxes. It's typically on over 65 on your resident homestead. And so penalties and interest accrue at a lower rate. We don't actively work those accounts, but we do monitor them. And if that deferral were to go away, we'll take the appropriate action. All right, next slide. This is a dollar range chart. We work the roll from the top down and try to get the most amount of money in the door the quickest. All right, next slide. And then you can see a tax year chart. So you can see the majority of the taxes are for the 2024 tax year, which is good because the newer the taxes are, the easier they are to collect. And then that number gets smaller as the years go by. All right, and then we've included some historical data charts, but if we can skip ahead to the 23 tax year, since that was our most recent tax year. So you can see in the 23 cycle, we were turned over a delinquent tax base of 828,000. In the first year from July 1st to June 30th, we were able to collect 562,000 or 67, almost 68%. And then when this report was ran back in October, we had bumped that number up to around 73%. All right. And then for 24 so far, so we were fully turned over this in July 1st, and when this report was in October, we'd already collected 40%. The tax office collected over 96%. This year, we have a great relationship with Kristen Bolanek and her staff out there. So they're not leaving us a lot of meat on the bones, but of that 4% that was left over, we've already collected around 40% of that. So are there any questions on the delinquent or the tax portion? All right, well, thank you all so much. And then I think Mike is.
Hey, nice job, Darla. Nice job.
Yeah, very good.
Trained them well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to update you. So most school districts, when Purdue Brandon visits, generally they visit once a year. You know, as you know, Mike's been visiting us twice a year for a long time. And so what you're probably going to see is in May, he'll submit the report, we'll review it, but then in October, November timeframe, yearly, Purdue Brandon will show up, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah,
Thank
sounds good.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
Happy holidays.
thank you. Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Have a good evening.
Okay, next maintenance report.
Mr. Williams is ill. He needed to go home. About the only thing he had for you is to let you know that they are drilling at Wild Peach Elementary. So I think the drill's been in the ground for 2 days, I believe. So just heads up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next, safety and security.
What's all the crushed asphalt out there?
So to help with some of the ag barn parking and stuff, so we had some spoils.
Right, that's right.
And so rather than paying for them to haul it off somewhere and dispose of it, we said, hey, just take it out there and use
That's
it.
right.
So
I remember
so it was
Chris.
kind of like we did when we built the practice and turf field facility at the junior high when we had that huge pile of mounded dirt in front and we used it. It's kind of helping save a little bit of money.
Perfect.
Okay, anything else?
Have you heard anything about the drainage?
Last phone conversation I had last week was that permits were expected this week. And so hopefully moving dirt guy's ready. He's just waiting on the permit. So it was either hopefully the end of this week or next week to start moving dirt on the ag barn facility.
Okay, safety and security report.
So you have a report in your folder, but I'll just go over the highlights real quick, just where we are on campus intruder alerts. 2 campuses have been visited this year, and we have passed both those visits. I expect them to try to get another one in before Christmas, simply because historically that's what they've done. CRG, our campus, our critical response maps. I've talked about that in the last couple of board meetings. They're wrapping those up right now. They came out in October. Specifically, we're talking about the high school campus. Even though all campuses have had the opportunity to make upgrades or changes to their maps, we're expecting them anytime. Actually, I think Chief told me that he got them today and he was going to send them out today. So once we get them, then what we'll do is we'll send them all out to all of our first responders, meaning West Columbia PD, Missouri PD, fire departments, DPS, Sheriff's Department, Constable's Office will all have copies of the critical response maps for every campus, and we're required to do that by law. First responder campus key update. This came up the other day in a conversation, so I figured I would throw it on the board or throw it on the board report. For those of you that know that come to the safety and security meetings, this is something that we talk about in the summer security meeting. So I figured I'd just let you know, per state requirements, all relevant first responders have access to keys to every single one of our campuses. So actually what it was is Trooper Swango stopped by the other day, and even though Trooper Duke has keys, he didn't. So that was how this conversation came up. So we do have Knox boxes on a couple campuses, but we just found it's easier to actually hand them to them. So just thought I would get that information out there to you. Our emergency operation manual and active threat annex submittal, I talked about this back in September. Every year we're required to submit the EOM to the state, and they always actually ask for an additional annex to go with it. This year they asked for the EOM and the active threat annex. We submitted it. EOM passed. We did get a couple of things that we needed to correct on our active threat. The template changed, which means the document changed. It wasn't anything serious, just a couple corrections. Fixed it, sent it back in, and we've already gotten that back. So we are good to go. Both of our basic emergency operation manual and our active threat annex has been approved by Texas School Safety Center. So we're good to go there. We've met the state requirements for the calendar year. Cameras, for those of you that have also attended Safety and Security Committee meetings, you've known that WCPD and Brazoria PD have always had access to our cameras. However, on the old system, we had a problem with firewalls. When we changed over to Verkada, we've got that installed, and those problems have gone away. Don't ask me technologically how that happens, because I don't know the answer to that, but it works now. So, and it has been working all year. Matter of fact, the new chief of police for WCPD was in my office having coffee the other day and was talking about how great the picture was and how clear it was, and how they always have active cameras up and running throughout the day. So anyways, just thought I'd throw that out there. That was something we bought with money graciously that y'all gave us. So just thought that you might want to know that. The Fall Safety and Security Committee meeting has been moved to December 10th. It was supposed to be actually tomorrow, but we've just had with the flu out there and things going on, we just had too many people that with holidays couldn't make it. So we've moved that to Wednesday, December 10th at 4 o'clock in the boardroom. Would love to have you if you would like to come up. It usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour, and you get to meet a lot of great first responders throughout the county that service our schools. So that's all I have. Chief Dvorak, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Other than what y'all have in your packet, we just had 6 cases.
Okay.
1 arrest. Still working on a couple of them. And that's it.
Okay, does anybody have any questions?
Are the cameras the inside cameras and the outside cameras are all working on the new building?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just questioning that because I didn't know it. Yay.
So I got a question on the security report. If there's an arrest made, what's the process after the arrest? What happens after that? What happens?
You're talking about student arrest?
Yeah.
So, in this particular case, I would assume it was, there was an issue and then there was a directive a few days later, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and so student issue, dealt with it, turned over to parents, information submitted to the juvenile DA. They vet the information, enter a directive, give it to chief. Chief then that directive is to pick that student up, bring him and book him, or her, whoever it may be.
And they get to come back on campus or no?
Depending on the issue.
Depending on the issue.
Depending upon it. In this situation, there's discipline pending, and so the student's not attending regular school. Right.
Clarification.
You bet.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move on to the instructional report.
So in the instructional report, you have a clipped packet of 3 stapled packets in your maroon folder. And so one of the things we're required to do is a program evaluation. And so tonight, Jennifer Kelly having some surgery done, and so she's not able to be here tonight. Chris Miller has brushed up on it. Again, this is really just information to you, right? So anyway, program evaluation for our dyslexia program, for our bilingual program, and our state compensatory education program for last school year for the 24-25 year. So with that, Mr. Miller.
So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the state comp ed. So if you find the one that says state compensatory education on the top, what you see on the front is just a one pager. All the other information is also included if you want to go through the report, but on these reports, I'm going to stick to the one pager, and if you have any questions, we can go in detail. I'm going to start with state comp ed, since the one I'm the most familiar with is something that we used quite a bit when I was principal at Columbia High School. So the purpose of state comp ed is to simply increase academic performance of students at risk of dropping out and or economically disadvantaged students. You know, the goal of it is to reduce achievement gaps and increase graduation rates. How is that done? Funding, TA lots 2.7 million, basically 2.7 million for us to spend on state comp ed, and we're required to spend 55% of that amount. So last year we spent 1.55 million, which was 57% on state comp ed, which was slightly above the targets. Some student demographics. So what we're looking at is at risk. We're looking at about 55.4% of students in CBISD are labeled at risk. There's actually 13 qualifiers to identify students at risk. So it's pretty robust. 62% of them are labeled, 62% of our students are ECOD, or economically disadvantaged, and overall, we service about 2,228 students with either receive accelerated or intensive comp ed instruction. Like I said, one of the things with state comp ed is that we try to get graduation rates for those groups up. So if you look at our graduation rates, if you look at the state gap of at risk versus others, the state gap is at 7.1% and ours is 3.3%. That's very good. We're 4% above state average, or below it, depending on how better than the state average in getting our at-risk kids graduated, which our at-risk kids are the ones that are prone not to graduate. Our state gap of ECO-D versus non-ECO-D, so the state average is the state gap's 5.8 and ours 2.5, which is also, and again, that's in regards to graduation. Our district overall graduation rate is 96.4%, which is above the state average at 90.7%. The other thing that they look at is academic performance, or STAR testing. CBISD scores below state average in all subjects. Even though our graduation rates are high, our test scores are not. Are usually, let me rephrase that, our first-time test scores are not. There you go. Okay. Gaps are smaller than state at meets and masters level, but when we get to the approaches level, the level gaps remain. Positive notes, social studies improved in approaches and meets, while other subjects slightly declined. If you look in the back of the report, you'll see some tables. Even though I say they've declined, we're not far off the state average in many of those. Some key strategies that we use to fund comp ed is our credit recovery for our high school, which helps us with graduation. That's mainly our Edgenuity program, which is also not just for credit recovery, but it's also used for accelerated instruction as well. Full day pre-K, DAEP and behavior education support. Yes, students get put in the DAEP, and oftentimes that can hurt them. It's an automatic at-risk qualifier because it affects graduation, and so that's one thing that we use to make sure those kiddos are getting full supports. Dyslexia teachers and training, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Comp Ed funds communities and schools, support for academic, social, emotional, and physical needs at all campuses. It funds summer school and STAR EOC testing, and it funds compensatory education home instruction for pregnant and parenting students, which they're also at-risk students. Our findings are that graduation rates remain strong. Achievement gaps do persist, though, on the academic side. We have a continued need for first instruction improvement and targeted intervention. We also need better performance on first-time test taking. It's not getting the kids to eventually be successful. It's that first-time test taking piece that is hurting us. Recommendations. To maintain and strengthen credit recovery and tutoring. We have a good program. It's been successful for us. Full day pre-K and elementary interventions, student support such as CIS, and then also dyslexia and the pregnant parenting related home instruction. And that's all I have for state comp ed. Does anybody have any questions?
So on the gaps, I guess we make a plan. There's a plan made for the gaps.
Well,
There's always a plan made, yeah.
So what the gaps are the first time testing, right? So it's not they still graduate, it takes them 3. And so that's the idea. It's not that they're not graduating, it's that they don't pass the test the first time, right? So. And that's where the first instruction is. First instruction to us means classroom instruction, right, before interventions.
And the funding that TEA gives us, do they tell us how we have to use it, or as long as you're putting it
in those categories?
We have to put it in, yeah, it can only be spent on comp ed.
Well, that's what I mean, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, can you use it for anything that you want within the comp ed spectrum?
As long as it's meeting the goal of students, increasing academic or graduating performance of students at risk of dropping out and economically disadvantaged students.
You can use it for teachers.
Yeah, we use it. We do use
materials.
it to pay for teacher salaries, like our DAP teacher salaries, like all of our CIS counselors that are on campus. It's used for that money, like salary pay for summer school and tutoring. All right, we're going to look at the dyslexia program next. So the program overview. So the purpose of the dyslexia program is to identify and support students with dyslexia through targeted interventions and accommodations. Our funding that we receive for that, the TEA allotted us $155,000 for dyslexia instruction, which of that money that fund covers 3 of 5 dyslexia teacher positions in the district. The other 2, as I mentioned previously, are funded through our state comp ed programs, okay? The instructional model is pull-out reading instruction is one, reading skills classes, classroom accommodations, and reading by design program, which is a systematic multisensory approach to dealing with dyslexia. Some strategies of the program is early identification. I think we can all agree that's important. There's universal screening in K-1. Campus teams, administrations review data and referrals. There's teacher training. All K-3 teachers attending Reading Academy. K-2 teachers receive Reading Horizons instruction. And then transition to special education. By 25-26, dyslexia instruction will only be provided under special education. The student population of the program, the total enrollment in districts 3108, identified with dyslexia 281 students, which is roughly 9%. Of that, 188 students are in special education. 92 students are considered 504. 146 receive direct instruction, and 56 students receive accommodation. Okay. Performance data, star reading passing rate. So this is approaches and above. For all students, the star reading passing rate was 73%. You can see for dyslexia, it's 43%. Growth measures, oral reading fluency, 45% above, average or above, 55% below. Reading comprehension, 28.6% of average or above and 71.4% below. So you can see how they're performing in those ranges. Our findings are students with dyslexia continue to lag behind peers on STAR despite gains in fluency. Comprehension growth remains a major challenge impacting overall achievement, which makes sense. Our recommendations for the program is to ensure fidelity of reading by design implementation, 4 to 5 sessions per week, 30 to 45 minutes, small groups of 6 to 8 students, and provide staff development focused on language and vocabulary development to improve comprehension. Any questions there?
Are they pulling them out for dyslexia and or are they coming in? How are they doing the dyslexia now? Did she go?
Yeah, it
They're going
depends.
on?
It's all, yeah, it's a little yes and no.
Both, okay. All right.
So same thing here, kids are graduating, again, the performance is on the test itself, right? You know, we've had those conversations many a time in this room. We say it's a 13-year journey in CBISD.
Yeah.
They're gonna get there, right? We don't get credit because if they didn't pass it in 3rd grade, they pass it in 4th grade, so be it, or growth as well.
What are they finding on the dyslexia, kids with number dyslexia too, as far as on the testing too? It's just the reading part that we're working with. Because, you know, some kids invert numbers in the reading, and some don't. I wonder if they're pulling all that. I don't know. I wondered.
This is dysgraphia, right?
Yeah.
Part of the whole program to check it, I wonder.
Testing,
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, lastly, we have the bilingual program. Program overview, models offered. So what we have is we have transitional bilingual early exit, which is expanded to kindergarten. We're gonna add grade 1 next year. We have the ESL program for English learners to access grade level content using linguistically and cultural responsive instruction. And our goal is to prepare students for English-only instruction within 2 to 5 years. Our student demographics are emergent bilingual students. We have 273 emergent bilingual students enrolled as of snapshot 10/25/24. Of those, 24 students have exited the emergent bilingual program in 2025, meaning they've achieved proficiency in English and have scored, I believe, advanced high on TELPAS, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there. Parent denials, there are 40 students who are currently, parents have declined ESL services, so they're not receiving ESL services because the parents don't want them to. Performance data, STAR passing rates, all subjects decline over the past 3 years. The highest is reading, which is 58%. TELPAS, composite 2025, there was growth evident in students with 6+ years in U.S. schools. Of those 6+ years, 25 of them have scored advanced high on the TELPAS, which is the highest they can score. So, makes sense. The longer they're here, the better that they do, right? Early years show high percentage. So the early years, so kids in the 1 to 2 year range in the program show the highest percentages of beginning and intermediate levels. So, makes sense. They're just in the program, they're not performing as well. Program challenges, required bilingual services for PK through 5. We're required to do it due to having more than 20 Spanish-speaking students per grade. No certified bilingual teachers hired despite recruitment. They're very, very difficult to find. Reliance on ESL certified or Spanish-speaking staff under the bilingual waiver. 12 teachers serve 111 students under the waiver currently. Professional development activities that are involved, that are funded under the bilingual waiver is Summit K-12 training for language skills. It's an online standard-based supplement curriculum that teachers can use to basically supplement the English instruction. Region 4 training and coaching and content-based language instruction. Again, that focuses on teachers, the teaching approach that integrates language learning with the subject matter. And then ESL certification fee reimbursements, meaning if teachers will go out and get ESL certified, that we can reimburse them for those certificates. Emergent bilingual findings. Emergent bilingual students underperform in reading in English 1 and 2, which is critical for language acquisition. Math and science gaps indicate the challenges there are with the academic vocabulary. For those of you that know, math test these days is basically a reading test. And so you can see where the connection is, and a lot of it, and then on top of that, you have the difficulty with the course-specific vocabulary. TELPAS growth slows after initial years. Our long-term EB students need targeted support, meaning more one-on-one type help. Our recommendations are district-wide training in content-based language instructions, strengthen Summit K-12 implementation for listening, speaking, reading, and writing, continue Region 4 coaching, and recruit Spanish-speaking candidates into the teacher apprenticeship program, and offer bilingual stipends to attract certified teachers. So that's where we are there. You will see if you look at some of the data, there's some nice tables of. So you currently have at Columbia High School, you have 82 emergent bilingual students. West Brazos has 57. WC has 51. Wild Peach has 45, and Barrow has 38 students. And then if you look at some of the bar graphs on the back, you can see that actually the rates, math 3 through 10 is pretty much the lowest performing amongst the EB students. But then when you look at the TELPAS composites by the year and you start looking at, it makes sense that the advanced high goes up. As long as everything is starting to shift up as you get past that 3-year mark, you know that you're doing things pretty good. You want to see those greens and blues get bigger. Anyways, any questions about bilingual program?
I just have one. Why, and I don't know if you can answer this, why would parents not want their kids in it?
Because it's parental rights.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I just think it would help them, but.
I agree with you, Stanford. I agree with you 100%.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, we'll go to
Well, I have one more thing.
oops, sorry.
So in your maroon folder, I also have a draft copy of a 26-27 instructional calendar. I put some of the information in your board earlier this past weekend. Over the past couple of years, we have made changes during the year to our instructional calendar based on certain issues. And so, again, going back to PEIMS and submitting PEIMS and increased enrollment, looking for that average daily attendance, which is the tie-in to state funding, right? So I did give you that information that our average daily attendance, our ADA number, even though our enrollment is up, our ADA number for the second 6 weeks reporting period is actually down a little bit. The biggest cause for that is the week of the Missouri County Fair. So this calendar that I'm showing you, I want to give you a heads up on it. On Thursday, when we meet administratively, I'll ask the administrators to take it back, get feedback from the campus. But the calendar I'm showing you tonight basically has the kids off the entire week. The Monday and Tuesday would be staff development days for staff, but the whole week, and then the last 3 days would be holiday for everybody, but the kids would be off the whole week. The second change I have for you is if you go into March of 2027, you can see that Easter's a little early, is in the last weekend of March, but if you want to call it Easter Monday, is always a low day, has been tracking it. And so as we get ready to approve a 26-27 calendar, those are the two changes I have for you. Everything else remains the same on the CBISD calendar. This calendar actually has 174 days for students. That would be 2 more additional school days than we have in this current instructional calendar year. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there and give you a chance to look at that. Because this would be the first time ever that if we did go with this, that we have, quote, a fall break during that week of October.
So how is that counted as far as if a student is at the fair, is that just still an absent, right?
If the student is like participating and has been cleared to the school, then he counts like he's on a field trip, basically.
Okay.
So the students.
But so other students are missing at the same time that does not have projects.
And so when I say our attendance low, our attendance was anywhere from that week was anywhere from 88 to 91%. But when you're pulling a 96 and a 95, those pull the number down real quick, right? So I'm not saying the ADA is down huge, it's just down some. Mm-hmm. And so, if we're looking at finances and we're looking at, again, we want as many kids at school as possible, right? So anyway, my only concern with that is that, we do some special needs days, and we do some of our kids help. There's a lot of things, if we do this, that would become extra, right? So meaning like right now, the ag teachers, it's a work day, right? The ag teachers get a professional development day to go out there. This would be meaning they'd be paid on their own time. I mean, right? Remember years ago, we used to pay days, right? Coaches got paid extra days, ag teachers got paid extra days, band directors got paid extra days, and they get a stipend now, right? So they get a stipend, and the stipend covers whatever days they have to do. Now that's a nice thing, because if you had 25 days you were getting paid, we were gonna make you work the 25 days. But if you can get it down to 15, the stipend's the better way to go. So I'm just bringing it out. There are some things we'll have to work out, but a lot of the other districts do it, and it seems to work, so. Anyway.
Can I ask,
Yeah.
why do we have 2 in that October? Why do we have 2?
Because the
teacher
teachers have to have 187 work days by contract days.
development? I mean, 13 days that they have.
Right,
but-
so if I take those 2 days away, the only place to put them is either after school's out or in
But we need,
July.
can we take 1 away and just,
Well,
it's weird, just coming off of that
Those are-
weekend and doing
those
Monday,
are training,
Tuesday.
those are training.
Training
right?
days?
Those are training days, getting ready for STAR testing, doing STAR trainings. I mean, we don't have enough days now to complete the number of trainings we have that we do. So, my suggestion would not be to make them disappear.
At least I was thinking 1, but okay.
Yeah.
Let's try to give them 1.
You can give them 1. I mean, this is under y'all's control.
I know,
But, I mean,
but yeah, days of training compared, I just want to know how many days they have to have.
the answer is 187, and that's what's on here.
Okay.
So anyway, this will come back in either December or January, so just wanted to float that out, give you a chance to look at that. Okay, no, that is it for
Sorry
instruction.
about that. Okay. Next, we'll do the ACT, SAT reports.
Yes, and I'm gonna move through pretty quickly, so I'm gonna hit the highlights for you. Just to give you a little bit of background on the TSI and the ACT and the SAT, go to the next one. The TSI exam is just a placement exam. It's required for all college students that are entering a college or a university in Texas. They have to complete the TSI prior to admission or prior to completing 15 hours of dual credit classes. The college entrance exams like SAT, ACT, those are required for 4-year universities or students that are entering specific programs of study. So it's not necessarily required for everyone right now. Also, our Algebra 1 students that took Algebra 1 in the 8th grade have to take the SAT or ACT before they graduate in high school. And so that just kind of gives you a little bit of preface to the numbers that we're going to look at. Our SAT numbers for the 24-25 school year, we tested 119 students on the SAT. And just to look comparatively to how they matched up to the state and the national standards, you can go to the next slide. I know that this is a little hard to read, but our average score was 1,005 on the SAT for our students. The state's average was 950, and the global testers, which is worldwide for us, is 965. So our students are performing above the state and global averages on the SAT. So you can go to the next one. PSAT is a practice SAT test that we give to our 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. And you're going to see kind of the same trend on all of those. Our students tend to perform a little bit better than the state and the national average. I will give you a caveat on the PSAT. We have very few students outside of the honors English classes that choose to take it. We require it for the honors English classes. Okay, but our 9th graders were performing at 913 as the average score, where the state average was 873. The next one, the PSA 10, our 10th graders, you're going to see about the same thing. They're averaging about 967, where the state average is 871. Okay. And then our 11th graders, this is also the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. Our students are quite a bit above the state average. Our students average 1,033, where the state average is 940. Okay. ACT, just so you know why the numbers are so low on ACT, we had 8 students in the 24-25 school year that took the ACT. Texas is an SAT state, so most schools require the SAT. Students are allowed to take the ACT, and usually it's the students that are going off to college somewhere out of state. But we had 8 students that took it, and if you look at the next slide, it tells you that our students are well above the average. The ACT, our students' average scores on the composite was 21.5, where the state average was 19.3, and the national average was 19.4. But there again, you're looking at a small group of students where there are other states that require their entire student body to take the ACT. And so that kind of is misleading on some of those numbers. Okay. Just to give you a little bit about our campus testing, SAT tests are given in October and March. Now we're doing everything online. And so we have a testing window of the entire month of October and the entire month of March to get students tested. The SAT tests are also administered on our campus. We're a testing site for College Board on Saturdays. That's most Saturdays once a month throughout the year. TSI test I administer monthly on our campus during the school day. Students are also allowed to go to the college campus at BC and take the TSI if they want to outside of the school day. We do require the TSI for our 8th grade honors English students. We do the TSI test just to get a baseline and see where they're at. And we do that in May of each year. And then the PSAT tests are required for our 9th through 11th grade honors English students, but it's open to any student that wants to take the test. And then our ASVAB is our military test. It really is just a skills assessment. It really lets the students see where their skills lie. It's offered to students during November and February of each year. We actually are giving it tomorrow on our campus, and we currently have 29 students that are enrolled to take it tomorrow.
Okay, just from history purposes with, you talk about taking the whole week off for the fair and stuff. And it always has been in the past where that SAT test has always failed during that week at the same time as the fair.
That's why it's nice that we have the window for the whole month now. Yes, it does.
She can schedule around it.
I schedule around it, so I can schedule it anytime during the month.
On that side of the world, that's the biggest complaint that we've always had was people parents coming to us, because I was tied to the livestock world and they'd have conflicts and everything.
Right. When we were giving the paper test, College Board told us when we had to give it, but now that we're doing it online, we have a testing window, and so I can set the date and then make up dates. Okay?
That was just something that,
I agree with you.
they were both out there and fighting each other.
Yeah.
So this past school year, we tested 204 students on the TSI test. On the ASVAB, we had 25 students that took it, and like I said, tomorrow we're giving the ASVAB for the first time this school year, and we already have 29 students that are signed up to take it for tomorrow. This just tells you how we get the information out to students. We had to change some things this year because students can't scan my QR code because they don't have phones on campus. So we started putting the links for students to sign up for testing into their graduating class Google Classrooms so that they have access to that, and we're trying to put more of the links out on social media and the website so that parents also have access to that. Any questions?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Give one to Julie and Chris, and then pass one out to everybody.
Thank you.
I figured you wanted this for this report.
I brought it up and I was gonna ask you if you had given it to him. And this, next we'll go into the financial report.
You had the actual financial report that I give you every month showing that we're about 28.5% on our actual to budget, and we're about 33% through the school year, so we're running good there. I also prepared, that Jennifer just handed out, the general fund. This is just a projection. A fund balance. It starts out with what our fund balance was on our audited financials at the end of June, on June 30th, 2025. And then it shows the different things that we have taken out of the budget that were unexpected, sort of unexpected. You can see it talks about July pull forward funds for ongoing projects. There were the first 4 or 5 things that you'll see there, 5 that we had budgeted last year, like for the school bus, or we bought instructional materials, and they didn't get in by June 30th, and so we had them budgeted last year, so we just pulled them forward for this year. So they would be coming out of this year's budget. And then we also had the fire at the house, at the junior high, the $25,000 deductible that wasn't budgeted. Then the performance pay and the CTE certification. So these show you things that we've spent money on this year that we did not plan for. So we kind of show our projected fund balance should we stay on budget through the whole year.
And so this is one of the discussion points from the last meeting. This is that sheet. We always put the expenditures that are not in that we didn't put in the regular budget show up on this document here at the top. So what will happen is, many years ago, we used to say, like the buses, we would say the buses, we would approve it out of fund balance. But in the general practice of things, if the budget's good, then the purchase never comes out of fund balance unless it has to. And so the way we do it now is we put any purchase that's not considered, quote, something that was included in the normal preparation in the budget, we list it there. Doesn't mean at the end of the year it will come out of fund balance, but for just a perception of what is outside what was unexpected, and that's.
So you're basically just keeping track.
Keeping track, it is a document.
You're basically keeping track of things you spent that was not in the
Correct.
approved budget.
So that we all have a common understanding of what those things are. Yes, sir.
What about the E3 payments that now that the project is complete, are we gonna start paying on that?
So Julie's included those in the budget, if you'll remember.
I included one payment.
One payment
payment.
for this year.
For this year,
Yep.
and there's a potential there'll be 2 payments. So one of those might, if we have to make one toward the end of the year.
Will it be the same amount are they split up equally? Is that
Yeah,
how
they're
that works?
split equally. I
Okay.
think it was like 400,000 a year,
Yeah.
so it's about 140,000 each
Each
quarter.
time, okay.
And that was just rounding figures, because they haven't given me an amortization schedule or anything. We still haven't paid out everything to E3. So I think once they do, my understanding is then they'll go through like a closing procedure, kind of like closing on a loan, and then they'll give me an amortization schedule. And we're supposed to make the first payment 3 months after that closes.
Okay.
And so I counted for
Annual
one
payment?
of them. I counted for one of them in the budget. And so if they don't close till like January, because of the holidays, then we will just have one payment. And then next year, we'll have to put all 4 payments in there, in the budget.
Okay.
But I did account for one payment
payment.
because I figured
Which was what?
they were
100,
projecting
100?
us finish this in February. And so I figured we'd have to make one in June. And so I did account for that in the budget.
Okay.
Have you seen any positive things out of the E3 project yet, or is it too early?
It's too early.
Too
Yeah,
early.
as far as the savings from the electrical standpoint, it's not showing up yet because not everything's functioning. Like the HVAC's programming's not totally there yet for us to be able to realize that.
Is that all for financials? Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, next we'll go to the bond
In your
2022.
maroon folder, you do have an updated bond financial. So just heads up, high school, all interiors done. There's still, like with HVAC and some things like that, there's still some programming things they're working on. As far as the interior, everything's done at Columbia High School. As far as exterior, towards the back of the school, there are some security fencing, final security fencing, and final dirt work and concrete that's being done. They should wrap up and actually be moving out during the Thanksgiving holidays. So we're close to that, wrapping that final. As far as the, I said earlier, as far as the ag barn, hopefully permits will, Dramala and PBK may have them now. Hopefully the ag barn will be moving dirt towards the end of this week or no later than next week out at Wild Peach Elementary. So looking forward to that.
I can call tomorrow and see where they're at.
Okay. So financial wise, I did want to give you this document again. This is the same document you've seen. Again, at the very top, the green numbers are the amount of money I believe that's going to be left over out of those. The budget slack, that $600,000, I do believe that that's the money that Dramala has let me know that will be available out of the line item budgets that they didn't spend. The 2.933 would be out of all of the contingency monies that wasn't spent. Looking at the other A&E, architectural engineering, testing, technology, and the FF&E, which is the supplies, you can see I'm looking at, I think we'll have a total of 5.123 million there, plus the 600,000 in budget slack. When you look at the variance, which is the difference between what the bond passed for and what the final budget construction number came in, is an additional 2.27. You look at the interest earned, the 3.5 million in interest, gets you to the 10.9 number. If you add the little bit of money that's still left in the junior high bond, that gets you to 11.2. Additional projects you approved, the WCE and West Bryce Junior High roofing at 4 million, brings you down to 7.2 available. The Wild Peach water well at 495,000, brings you down to 6.7 available. The Ag Barn at 2.5 brings you down to 4.2 available. The Griggs Turf and Track brings you down to 3.1 available. So at the end of the day, the way I look at this now is you're going to have in the area probably a little bit more than $3.1 million, and we'll be able to address the Barrow roofs, the Wild Peach roofs, and the other additional roofs at the high school that need looking at. And then we do have some things like the 2 memorials. We need to do a memorial for our student. I remember his memorial of students that have unfortunately passed away while they've been enrolled in CBISD. We're going to do a memorial for those, as well as we want to recognize our 19 students from Columbia High School that have received appointments to one of the military academies. And then we also need to do the marching band tower. So that $600,000 in budget slack will more than take care of that amount. And then again, the 3.1 or so to put forward those roofs. And those are the other things that you've talked about. So I think we're in really, really good shape.
Do you know how the brick sale is going?
The bricks, the sale's done.
Okay.
There was approximately 90 bricks that were sold, and Dramala will be laying those either this week or next week.
Oh, okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in with the pavers. So those pavers that ProGrad sold, it is a paver area, so some of the other pavers that we have, we're going to fill in with that. And then if we make a decision that we want to expand that or give somebody else the right to do that, we will have additional room.
Okay.
I know Justin ain't here now, but is any of the final reports came in on the roof in Wild Peach and Barrow? The roof reports, they are in? Okay.
They are in. It's just us getting to a point where we're comfortable, because what will happen is that we'll put it together and go out for an RFP. But there's going to be that number of 3.1, how much we're gonna put towards it. We probably need to, if we're comfortable about moving that way, they're ready to move that way whenever we are. But we need to look at those amounts by campus and decide, right? Because one of the things Justin has put them in order. You may have some issues here, but this one doesn't have any issues. And so you it's a risk reward type thing, which one, because 3.1 probably won't do them all. But, that's why we've talked about fund balance as well. You could do them all if you throw a little bit more at it. And so we need to have those discussions. Okay. And so we'll start putting that information and kind of, if you want to get Garland back down here and have him go through the same process that we did the first time to when we got to Wild Peach, to the junior high and to the West Columbia Elementary. Okay.
All righty, if there's no other questions, we'll move into the action items. First, we're gonna consider updates to the 25-26 compensation plan.
All right, so in board book, so the teachers, we recognize the pay for performance. Pay for performance, was originally approved by the board back in 2019. And so it's been in our compensation plan since 2019. So this year, when you approve the compensation plan, it did have those amounts in there. But I have attached, so the teachers that were introduced to you tonight, so attached in that information is those teachers and those amounts, as well as the certification amount, as well as the campuses that will be receiving distinction pay. The people, remember to get any of those, you had to have taught the full year last year, you had to have come back this year, and so there were some people on the list that have obviously don't qualify. If they weren't working, if they weren't working on the campus last year, that don't qualify for that. So we put those amounts on there. The last board meeting talking about personnel, we did talk about some needs as well. Number one was in the custodial world. We have done campus custodial evaluations, and the information I gave you, we do have 5 custodians that had what we call a gold level evaluation. And what we would like to do is go back and increase their salary by $1 an hour. So custodians work an 8-hour day, 240 days a year. So that calculates a little bit more than the others. We did have 3 others that were very close, and we would like to raise those 3 50 cents an hour. Then in the child nutrition world, again, we, as part of our financial audit that's still not ready to be actually acted on or approved yet because of the government close down, we do know that our child nutrition, we're going to have a fund balance, a hefty fund balance. We added to it. We're working on a buy down plan again with equipment, ovens, things like that. We'll do what we're able to do buy down there, but we also need some others. And one of the things that we came up with was taking our campus hourly child nutrition staff and increasing. They work, some of them work an 8-hour day, some of them work as little as a 7-hour day, but they only work 175 days a year, not the 240 like a custodian. And so we'd like to raise their pay $2 an hour. So again,
Who is that?
Child nutrition employees. So with that, we're kind of lumping that together, and we would just like you to just approve those updates. And so, Wendy, do you have the total numbers on them?
So for the custodial raises, it's around $22,215.75. Child nutrition is about $78,814.72.
That's everything.
That's with TRS, all of that in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's taxes.
Yeah, that's drive out with everything added. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, man, that's a bit, okay, now I understand. Okay. Now I understand.
Well, but a total of 100,000.
Correct.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Okay, then.
Good.
Yeah, the child nutrition is the biggest part of that, and that comes out of 240. We have to spend it.
Yeah, we have to spend it. We have to spend it down. So
We
it's a
have to
good
spend it
thing.
down because we're not supposed to be carrying a fund balance, and we have like 1.1 million in it.
Remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the 22, you're gonna make that up with people just quitting and not rehiring them right away, and
Yep.
it's fine.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we update the 2025-26 2026 compensation plan. Second by Ray. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Next, we'll go to the approved Wild Peach Elementary book list.
All right, Ms. Cohey, do you have any comments on the books for Wild Peach Elementary?
No, sir, we went through the same process that West Columbia Elementary went through. So a committee met, went through the books, and are presenting it today.
Okay, so are these purchases, are they donations to book fair? What are they?
They will be purchases.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Okay, then I'll make a motion that we approve the Wild Peach Elementary book list. Do I have a second? Second
James.
by James, I'm sorry. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Next, we're going to move to the approved resolution regarding review of investment policy CDA local and list of investment trainers and brokers.
Julie, have anything to add?
I don't. It is the same as last year. There's no updates on it. It's the same people that we get our training from. Nothing's changed from prior year.
Just something we have to approve.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution regarding review of investment policy CDA local and list of investment trainers and brokers. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jackie. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Next, we're going to look at casting votes for the Director of Brazoria County Appraisal District. I think we see somebody on here that we know, Wayman Hutchinson.
Last year, I think we cast all of our votes for Wayman Hutchins.
Okay.
Patrick. Okay.
I didn't think Wayman was on there last year.
It was Raymond. Paddle, David.
Oh, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry.
Dave was on.
I'm sorry.
He's not on there no more? He just got elected, I thought.
Maybe he's not up, maybe it's every 2 years.
Yeah. Nina Harrison, Eric Hayes, Wayman Hutchings, Chelsea Lay, Marinelle Music, Gail Robinson, Susan Spohr, and Michelle Wetzel.
I thought Susan was getting off.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
I thought she was. I mean, I heard she was.
Yeah, no, she said she was retiring from it.
My personal conversations or my personal recommendations would either be Wayman Hutchins or Susan Spohr. You can split them. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody want to make a motion and how we want to cast our votes?
I move that we vote, cast our votes for Wayman Hutchins.
Okay, I have a motion for all votes going to Wayman Hudson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jana. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That carries. All votes go to Wayman.
I didn't want to influence your vote, but Wayman Hutchins' daughter works for us at Wild Peach Elementary, so just,
Yeah.
good job.
He'll be
Didn't know
good.
that.
Yeah. Okay, next we're gonna go into the action item consent agenda. Approve the minutes of October 21st, 2025 regular meeting, approve budget amendments and donations, and approve board policy update 126. Does anyone want to have any of those pulled? Okay, then I'll make a motion that we approve the action item consent agenda as presented. Have a second?
I second.
Second by Greg. All in favor? Opposed? And that carries. We're just whipping right along. Okay, we're gonna adjourn to closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code, the Opens Meeting Act, Section 551.074. Consider employment of professional personnel, discuss the resignation, retirement of professional personnel, discuss the performance of personnel, and conduct the board self-evaluation. We're gonna, adjourn at
Yep.
7:23.
All right.